Let's carry on. Let's deal with the title. What's the title? Commerce, creating codes, and confrontation equals conflict, and some type of payment or imprisonment. You know what I mean? Theft, extortion. Once again, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna continue to say it because it's a fact. Number one, we have amnesia. I put my hand in the air and admit there are things that I don't recall. You understand? Chernobyl disaster. Yeah, 86. Like I said, when we were coming up. So these are things that, you know, let's refresh your memory. So let's get back to it. Um, we got shitload of terms and titles and phrases and coming from both sides. And I want to make shit 100% clear, right? When we talk about, y'all may say this nation or this country. You hear me refer to them as they refer to themselves, as a company, a corporation, enterprise, cartel, they defined and established and incorporated in particular years and they have various charters, stating such, right? And, your El Presidento, he's the president, the CEO, and he's sitting in the office, right? You got an Oval Office. The highest office supposed to be like an Oval Office, shit like that, right? All of this, and again, these people make up millions. No, not they have created millions of statutes and acts and codes, policies, which we know, aren't laws. They are what peace be upon them, body ill taught us they are. They are bills of attainder. Again, they are not laws. They are bills of attainder, right? Okay. Again, they got an Oval Office, president, CEO. So clearly, there's no need for me to stress the fact that these people are doing business. These corporations, whether it's the state of Missouri, state of California, state of Florida, state of New Jersey, state of Michigan, state of Ohio, business. And they have offices and they have CEOs and they have Secretary of States and so on and so forth. You understand? Who they either have appointed or elected as officials, you know what I mean, to function in that particular capacity, right? Again, I told y'all, Burger King is a business, KFC is a business, and that's fine. But again, Burger King don't force you to do business with them, and when you don't participate, within their structure and their business practices, they don't kidnap you, they don't rob you, sexually assault you, and hold you for ransom. Okay? Now, what corporation practices these types of, you know, uh, 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 policies and procedures? That would be the very thorn in our ass, right? Again, they came here to do business. We know this. Why? Because they were given permission to do so, to do commerce and trade over here, right? And they set up these colonists, these invaders, you know what I mean? Set up 13 colonies. Now, again, this is business because they're doing business. Not once were these, the land where these colonies were set up, the land never exchanged hands.
Yeah.
You understand?
You should have your chain on every
Burger
time
King,
you go
again,
live.
we don't use Burger King or Foot Locker and brands that you're familiar with. when they rent or lease a particular space, or build or purchase a building in which to run their business in, which may, let's say it's in the city of Baltimore, they don't claim a portion of the land that their business sits on as a part of their business. Okay, just this simple shit. Just think about what I'm saying to you. Again, we spoke about many times about how the United States of America is nowhere near being the largest populated so-called country, right? Nation state. I know y'all know 1,000 names for it. I just want you to know that I'm not. Um, I'm with you. Okay. First and foremost, I'm with us. I'm attempting to get us to aim all of this. We got so many gurus on here that got so much knowledge and shit. You understand? You got so much knowledge. Why are you attacking your own people? Or are you actually an agent provocateur who is, you know, who is, it's obvious a lot of people are very comfortable with this system of governance. There's a system of governance, and this is the way it's supposed to be. This is a republic. Our ancestors, created republics and empires and dominions and kingdoms. And okay, you understand? If we have, um, I would simply.
All right. What had happened? Here we go. We came back. You know, if you can hear us a little bit better, I'm gonna scoot
Peace,
back over a
peace,
little
peace,
bit.
peace, and love and
Again,
abundance, family.
yes, indeed. They shut us down again. Prime example. You can say I heard, and I was very disappointed when I heard this particular scholar make
You can say
thousand right to
and I
travel
was very
cards.
disappointed.
You know what I'm saying? He said, well, you know, they made the roads, and yeah, we are the, you know what I'm saying? I never say the owners of the land. Well, sometimes I do, but you know what I'm talking about? We are the caretakers of the land because nobody actually own land, especially not minors. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't even talking about when they call us minorities. I'm talking about the newest people on the planet. You know what I'm talking about? To
Yes,
make claims,
yes.
that's why they do everything
Younger brother.
with force. Everything is done by way of force. It's not you believe that they smart and these war tactics that they continue to use on people in order to get what they want. You know, some people would say with that it's very intelligent that they go around and kill women and children or whatever they have to do to get what they want. I say it's not.
Very
You understand?
intelligent. Did you hear that?
You,
That mindset.
if you
Intelligent.
using your mind in order to obtain or acquire something by way of using your mind, not by way of using military and you know what I'm talking about, it's two different. You know, I don't see why you are calling that smart. That's all I'm saying. I don't see that as being smart.
It's not intelligent. It's
Now,
not smart.
it may be a successful method to use because
Very lucrative.
again, you know, you're dealing with people who are very fearful and have amnesia. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, they have taken on the ways of, you know, their yeah.
Oppressive.
That's what y'all know what it is. You can bar for bar, you know what I'm talking about? Fill in the words. Peace to the God. We got God King L Bay on the line. What it do?
Peace and love, abundance.
Peace. Love y'all shows, y'all content, family. Love the content, education. Education rules the nation. So I think my biggest thing is that a lot of us, like me being a litigant and speaking on some of the things about understanding due process, I think we need to understand the essentials and the elements of everything as it relates to what this is. This is a military operation. It's all military. If you go to the Ohio statutes, they tell you all citizens and residents are part of the militia. They're using contracts. So what I have done through my journey and through my litigation, for example, I just got a traffic ticket from one of these policies enforcers. My car broke down on the expressway. I caught it flat. I called AAA. He gave me a ticket once I got off for parking on the expressway. So I wasn't tripping. I'm finna whoop his ass I'm finna file a criminal complaint. I'm finna file, and what people don't understand, when they try to put us in that position as a citizen, even though we're not, you have the powers to make citizens arrest. You have the powers to make a complaint. So I'm waiting on the judge, when I file my criminal complaint in the court for harassment, dereliction of duty, um, and I put that in there for falsification because he falsified a record, right? He said I was parked when he knew I was broke down. I had a flat. So when they deny me that, I'm going to immediately file an injunction and go to the appellate court. Now they violated my due process right. He don't have no more power than me to file a complaint or file a criminal complaint. So that's what he did. If they deny me mine, I'm gonna go ahead and file with the appellate court, ask for an injunction, and move on the case. I'm finna try to get paid because I know he falsified the record. The thing that we need to understand is how to understand this litigation process. Like I don't go in there and let them back me in the corner. Most of the time when I deal with the prosecutors, I'm sitting down negotiating with them, and when they don't want to give me what I'm looking for, 9 times out of 10, they looking for the judge to give them a remedy. And when the judge start playing ball with them, I'm asking him to recuse himself because he's not being impartial. His job is to be neutral. The problems is that we don't understand this thing about court, and we get all terrified. They're nothing but people hiding behind a corporation. That's it. It's nothing more than a corporation like Walmart. The Supreme Court says when there is no obligation or duty, there's only immunity. What do that mean? That we certify these records. We classify ourselves because it's all about classification. It's all about a class. This is why I try to tell people, most of the contracts you in, you can defeat the contract. They tell you you can't practice law without a license. But yet, all their documents is legal. They're documents. So when they hand you a contract, they're giving you a legal document dealing in legalese. That legal document don't allow you, you're not an attorney. You don't have a right to do that. You can't represent nobody else. You can do it for yourself and other contracts. Most of these contracts that you're in are they're not qualified. So you can go right back in and look at those documents, and it's called what they call under law, it's called unfair advantage. If you look it up, that's when one party has an attorney and they don't, right? That's why when you go to court, they have to give you representation because that's called unfair. And all your contracts, they supposed to, when they slide them over to you, they supposed to have you either waive your right to counsel. They don't do that. Most of us don't understand these things. And that's why when I come in and I break this stuff down, I understand because I litigated literally over 100 cases. And I understand all these components. They're false swearing, false witnessing, right? They committing perjury, malicious prosecution, right? Abuse of process, right? We don't understand all these things. What they call misappropriation of law. They misapplying to the law to a person who's indigenous. Nobody's raising these issues because you don't know a lot of us don't know what to look for. It's misappropriation of law. We talking all this stuff is dealing with property rights. So when we dealing with this corporation, right? When we dealing with this corporation, you look it up, unfair advantage.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so a lot of us don't understand this, right? And that's where I come in as a strong, heavy litigator, right? See, a lot of us don't even understand what to look for because you have a right to counsel. If somebody slides you a legal document, not a contract, when you see that word legal document on there, somebody then that person, either that corporation had a lawyer draft that up. And when they do that, they have to waive your right to counsel, right? They have to have it in the provisions of the contract. That's why when you go to court, they ask you on attorney, you have to physically state on the record that you waive your right to counsel. This is what we talking about, legal lease. I don't have the power to practice legal lease. Legal lease is someone's intellectual property. It's in books. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's really copywritten. That's just like if I was Tom Sawyer and I wrote all those books, all those characters, and then I go out and I start doing movies without getting the release to use those characters, and I'm using his name and all of that. It's the same difference when you use a legal lease. You have to get a release form. Most of us don't understand the continuity of law, so we get lost. There's a lot of gurus out there. It's a lot of people that read a lot of books. I get it. But is you strongly into litigation? I had to go and do the work to come back and bring it to the people. I had to go out there and literally fight with these people and bring back what I learned, because they gave me the game. Not I learned the game being in the battlefield. Somebody calling me. Hold on. You get what I'm saying? So when I talk about contract law, all this stuff is nothing but contracts. So you got the law of property, you got the law of succession, you got the law of agency, you got the principles of law, you got all of these different things rooted in one area of law. And what we have to understand, these institutions, particular institutions, have what they call a mission statement and a purpose. Most of us don't go and look at the IRS mission statement and purpose. Most of us don't go to particular institutions and look up their mission statements and purpose, and then look at their bylaws. Then we need to understand what they call intrinsic fraud and extrinsic fraud. And those are elements in civil law, not civics. See what I'm saying? We got to understand the different categories of law as it relates to this institution, and how to deal with this institution very refined with the information. And that's where I drop a lot of jewels, and this is where I had a strong foundation in litigation. And that's how I was able to change the game and start changing things. Brothers go to court on child support, all upset. They don't understand that all of this stuff is dealing with witnessing. It's all witnessing. Somebody is bearing witness. They're false witnessing. So you would look at an affidavit, right? Somebody will put in an affidavit, and you won't rebut it. If somebody don't got firsthand knowledge, even though they might have put in an affidavit, the affidavit should be considered hearsay evidence. They allow it to come through and stand on some stuff because you didn't rebut the affidavit. They do it all the time. You would look at the affidavit, like for child support, they'll say they have a hearing officer. They'll say that you signed the birth certificate. And then you'll go to court. You didn't rebut the affidavit showing that they didn't have firsthand knowledge. They don't know if you signed anything. And then we don't understand what they call an Article 3, right? Injury in fact. Article 3 injury in fact. See, a lot of us don't understand. So we're in these corporate, so a lot of people will file these corporate statutes. Or Article 3 injury in fact shows that the real man or the real person got injured. If you're operating in the capacity, this is why I try to tell people, you're not. So a lot of brothers and sisters use the statutes to try to get remedy. I don't, because what you're doing is you're exercising within the jurisdiction, and they're using what they call presumptive jurisdiction to establish. We authenticate the record. And if you look at, I want you to also look at all of your provisions in your state. They say general provisions. In my state, they all got the word general. I was looking at Facebook. The Facebook got even general in there. You know why is that general? Because it's all military. They're assuming that you're in the military until you let them know different. So these are things that we need to look at and we need to come together. Their biggest weapon against us is unity. We don't have unity. When we decide to come together, we're going to be unstoppable. But we got to decide when we're going to come together, what we're fighting for. It's too many wars and too many projects, and we don't know how to come together. We because they broke up the family, right? So we don't know how to come as a family unit. They ran the black man. They always been running the black man out the household. And then we as people don't know how to communicate. The man don't know how to communicate with the women. So what did that do with the children? The children become lost in the system because we didn't establish no structure for them for a basis of communication and how to deal with family structures. So now a lot of our families are what? We have these this organized these what's the word I like to where the families are just a disarray.
Yeah, they just everything is just the energy is even toxic. You
Yeah.
know, I get what you're saying 100%.
So we got to get back to that. And it's going, I think some of us are um, stuck in this mode of thinking. So we got to transcend this definitely to the children. Like I try to tell people, there's no greater duty than being a father. There's no greater duty than being a father. Once you become a father, you have a duty. If you don't get to decide, now I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna no,
Yeah,
no.
one of
That's
the
the
elders
duty.
say that's the first way to know that a person can experience what God feels. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, you got to be the first duty is being a father. Like once you become a father, that's a duty. You have a assignment. You have an obligation. It's not about the child support thing was to keep us, and I think that was the way to have the black woman or however, I know a lot of people identify still with black, which you know, so sometimes I use that term, but
Well,
as a
yeah.
more, but
We
as a
ain't
more,
We more. Yeah, we man.
yeah, I mean,
People
a
know
lot
that.
of, yeah. So when we start identifying ourselves as Moors, then we have to understand we have to stand on our own principles, which is we call our Constitution.
The brother, he proclaimed his nationality.
oh indeed.
Islam. All right.
Islam, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
Got
back.
to proclaim your
Yeah.
nationality.
Peace
Last for
be upon
Bobby.
me from Ohio, but you know what I'm saying? This people used to come up here,
For Bobby.
yeah,
What?
yeah, but they got their own clan. Understand? Peace be
Yeah,
upon
I
them, brother
love
Jelani.
that.
They will come up here from Dayton or whatever to film and everything. I'm talking 2009. Back, you know what I'm saying?
Woo! Yes, yes, yes.
Back to what you were saying,
Wow.
brother King. It's. I was just speaking last night about the knowledge and the science of being able to purify the water, filtrate the water, as well as preserving the food. And as far as a rites of passage, the children should know this science prior to even reaching their teens. And this goes into what you was just saying. The structure of what's going on and what the children have become attracted to is more so what the parents have or the guardians have lacked in knowledge. How many adults do we know personally who know how to purify the water or filtrate the water when necessary and preserve food?
Man.
You understand? Like the far as most of us go is boiling some water. But if you don't have a stove to do that, do your ass know how to make a fire? You understand? We just discussed all of these are things that we need to know, just to know, not just when it's emergency purposes. Because right now we at emergency. You know what I'm talking about? So this is a must. You really don't have a choice. You might want to go play. Kids might want to play video games. You have to tell them that's too goddamn bad. It's too bad.
I'm gonna tell you what's so funny, right?
Within nature and within the earth.
I'm gonna tell you what's so funny. A lot of us don't understand what Congress already declared war. See, a lot of people don't understand. They think declaring war, they going overseas. They declared a war on drugs. They declared a war on poverty. These are declarations that they put out there. So they made these declarations, and then they shot drugs in our community because they could try to justify what they were doing.
Because those terms meant black.
Right.
The war on drug meant war on black. War on
Right. So a lot of us don't understand that. They made a public declaration of war. This is why, like, child support came out of that war on poverty. You see what I'm saying? We don't understand the extent of the things. That's why, a lot of brothers try to, bash ties. But I'm like, y'all don't even understand the footsteps ties been through. Like, y'all don't even understand what it took. We've been doing this for 30, 40 years. And nationality is if you ain't talking nationality, don't talk to me. Because if you start talking that business, that United States is all about business and anything else in this secure party, and keep it pushing. You first gotta have a nationality status as it relates to jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
You got to have your nationality. How did you declare your nationality? Did you put it? You can do it in the private. You don't have to do it in the public. You can do it in the private. But people don't understand what we need to do. And the purpose of all of these institutions is about organizing, and it's about these people are using military powers, which they call police states, to invoke their authority over you because we don't organize. It's time to stop, and we need to start organizing and start putting institutions together. Another thing we need to understand is these property laws. When they tell you that you literally got fundamental rights, a lot of people don't know what that means when they talk about fundamental. You have the right to own your intellectual property. That's what they're saying to you. Fundamental rights. People get, it's the right to marry. The right to marry is first start with the idea. Do you believe in marriage? Do you believe in having children? It's all mental. Your mind fund everything around you. You either look and seeing what something man made, or you looking at something with discovered there's something God made. There's only two people dwelling on this planet, and there was God, and then there was man. That's it. So you have a right to own your ideas and protect those rights. That's why you have a right to contract unlimited, because you can put all your ideas into a form of contract and protect all of that. So that's why marriage contracts, all of those things are important. Like, I didn't get married through the state, but Chief Vanderlei married me and my wife, all my children. When I had to go get some disability for a minute because I was a nurse, I was practicing as an RN. Wow. They accepted my affidavits with all my children's nationality, with the contracts. They accepted my marriage contract. They accepted it in the form of an affidavit, having it in a contract. We dropped all of that.
It was heavy affidavit.
We dropped everything in the form of a contract. So everything that I do now, you got to learn how to separate the man from the corporate fiction. So now I take all of that to my children's school. This is who you need to contact. This is the due process requirement. If you better not do nothing else, because this is a contract. Don't violate my contract, I'm gonna sue you. And I'm gonna put provisions in there if you violate my contract. So now they known or should have known as it relates to due process of law, as it relates to notice. There was a requirement, there was fines associated with violation of my rights per contract. We talking about contract. That's what they whooping us with is contract. If you want to drive your car and all of that stuff, it's easy where you can draw up your contracts, show where certain licenses is required. I could teach people all types of things as it relates to this corporate jurisdiction, as it relates to contracts. Your corporation, like some people, if you want to drive, you can take, and I'm gonna put it to you like this. Some people, they don't understand this. Like I was telling a brother about Jamie Foxx. You can set up a corporation that owns your government name. In return to that, that corporation has to pay you what? Royalties. You don't have nothing to do with the name. And the contract, what that do? It indemnifies you from any liability. The corporation owns the name, and it has to carry the insurance on the name per contract. And it states in the contract that you are not responsible and that you are live indigenous more and your status. And here's the due process clause when dealing with you. Who they need to contact, what's the institution name, this, that, and the third, and this, and how to go about doing all of this if they got you in custody. It's all contracts. And I had to learn and break every component down, teach the people everything. I had to go out here and literally fight with these people to learn so I can actually show the people and blow it up and magnify this information. Federal, state cases, breaking down how they use like all this evidence. Most people don't understand the evidentiary standard of the court, how they go about using that. One time I got a brother's, they used a breathalyzer test to try to incriminate him on a DUI. I got it thrown out on particular grounds, right? They used this test, right? So what did I do? I said, let's contact the manufacturer. Let's get the manufacturer instructions. Now, from there, once we got the manufacturer instructions, right? We asked, did you maintain this equipment according to the manufacturer? We came to find out they didn't maintain none of this information according to the manufacturer. They didn't have a maintenance report on the device. They didn't have nothing to show how the device was being maintained. So we automatically disqualified that breathalyzer test. Was the officer trained? And then when he got up on the stand, we wanted to know, did he know any of these manufacturing procedures? Did he know anything about the manufacturer and the procedure? What was the serial number on that device? So when he got on the stand, he pulled up, we pulled up, got the information from the manufacturer. He didn't know nothing. So how could he be qualified to even utilize this machine when he don't even know the manufacturer's instructions? So we got him impeached. He wasn't a qualified component. So when they're talking about that litigation, I was heavy on it. I did it for a long time. Now, when I come forward with the people, I can give you precise information. And now we finna take it to another level, me and my team. We finna take it to another level. We finna prove that the whole record is false at this point. Now we finna do something different that a lot of the Moors are not doing. And I'm not gonna say, oh, you have to know this, you have to know that. Nah, we just gonna create an institution, build on it, and then we're gonna be able to help Moors get themselves out of these jams. Because we got a particular institution on what we're gonna be able to do to disqualify the whole everything, because the record that they're utilizing, this false presumption, is false, and they have what they call federal requisites that they didn't follow. The judge supposed to make sure that he got jurisdiction over the person before they do. That's why they always telling you, reading you your Miranda rights. So I try to tell people, man, I wouldn't say nothing. He asks you for your ID, I'll be like, I plead the fifth. I wouldn't say nothing, because it's their job to qualify you to before you come in that courtroom. You have to be qualified to be in that jurisdiction. So what do? We get to run in our mouth. And now they say who you are, you start saying all of these different things, and then they use these contracts against you. Are you a U.S. citizen? Check it off. Yep. You or you a resident? Yep, I'm a resident of the state. Yep. You get in compliance, giving them the green light. Now they take. That's why they say everything you say can and be used against you in a court of law. So as soon as you open your mouth and get to talking, saying anything, then you start talking about your nationality and all of that. No, just keep your mouth shut. They ask you anything, shut up. I don't got nothing to say. I don't answer questions. Period. Let them do the work. Because once I set up this, we're going to come right behind that, disqualify everything, and show they ain't never had jurisdiction from the beginning. Once you understand what their job and their duty was supposed to be. Now we can disqualify the whole system every time they try to move. And me and my crew, we working on putting that together now without letting the cat out the bag. We're going to do something, and we ain't going to talk about it. We just going to be about it. We're going to be able to show you how to pertain and protect yourself or safeguard what they call contractual or constitutional safeguards. I heard y'all talking about the Constitution and treaty. So let's talk about treaty and Constitution. The Constitution, right, as it relates to that and treaties, the Constitution and treaties can be on equal footing, but the Constitution weighs heavier because it's their Constitution, it's their internal policy as it relates to them, right? So that's just like me telling you my corporate, let's say I'm a mattress factory, and I give you a warranty, right? I give you a warranty. That warranty can be redeemed when I violate something and haven't met my own standard of production, right? The mattress is defective. Now, based upon that warranty, right, I gave you, you can come back and get it and redeem that. So that's what the Constitution is. It's a warranty that you should be able to go back and get redeemed and get your benefit for a defective process, right? The treaty, on the other hand, is a contract between two nations, and that is also like a warranty in a sense, but you have to show the violation of the treaty, right? The two parties, to show where the contract had somebody didn't live up to their obligation and duty of the contract, right? That's a breach of contract. So the Constitution weighs a little more heavier in a sense because they are defining their own words, where they said now you can use that same memorandum, or not memorandum, what they call Miranda rights, right, against them. Anything they say can be used against them. This is why the statutes is what they say. The Constitution is what they say. They said it. That's the only way corporations can speak, right? Through these policies. That's how they talk. They can't speak no other way, right? So we can take what they said and use it against them, right, as it relates to a matter of law, and break that all up. So I love what the show is about. I support y'all family, and I'm gonna continue to support, and whatever I can do to help y'all grow or
Yes.
build on,
Yeah, brother.
I'm with it. Because the people need this. It's too many people. It's too many of us that's running around blind, right?
Indeed, I'll be trying. You just really eloquently stated what I'll be on here cussing people out about. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
That's just what it is. Everybody got their own methods and their own modes. I guess I'm
His
like,
passion, your passion.
yeah. And again, with the substantial amount of litigation that you've already participated in, you know what I'm saying? You hold a degree that many of us don't. I've been to court a lot, you know what I'm saying, but not that much. It's usually the same devils,
He
and
said he litigated.
what once I spank one of them, usually they connected to each other anyway. Like literally, as far as where their charters, you know what I'm saying, begin, whether it was in 1914 or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, they can easily, you can see, you know what I mean, that again, yes, they're doing business, right? But my issue is how they go about it. You know what I mean? Now again, we've been obligated by way of contract, but the unknowingly and unwillingly, and the statute of limitations beginning at the point that you learned about the fraud plays in as well. You understand? So it's so many fashions, and we know again they play both sides. They even make movies about the shit, like Trading Places or whatnot.
All
you know
right
what I'm
now.
saying? So with their intention is always to win. You understand? So although lawfully and or maybe even legally our stance is right and exact,
Bro.
you understand, but for how many? You only got 1% of a nation of people willing to stand up and do what they need to do. That puts us in a difficult, peculiar type situation. You know what I'm saying? Because the people, again, don't have the knowledge. They typically don't know what to say when a stranger, an armed stranger, runs up on them. You know what I'm saying? Survival mode kind of kicks in on a lot of us. So again, this information is always appreciated.
Man.
From
Islam.
all spectrums.
Islam.
No matter how whether I'm cussing, you know what I'm talking about, or getting somebody clean cut and more direct and less emotional about it,
Yeah.
Right. And then, like I heard y'all talk about Jamal and them, the rise of the Moors, right? And that situation with that whole standoff with the police and carrying weapons. So my job is to teach and educate and elevate, right? This is one of the things that I try to tell us. Those guns, see, a lot of people don't look at it like this. And once you understand and you hear the truth, now you know what to do, right? So those guns are someone else's intellectual property. They have a patent on them. They're registered, right? So now you got possession.
Wow.
Same thing with the cars. I was just talking about back in the day how we used to try to put the UC3.
You don't own nothing.
We would go to the Jaguar, goddamn dealership or the Benz dealership where the new cars where people didn't even have because we didn't know you know, you weren't getting the MCO. What is it? The manufacturer certification of origin. And somebody told me it was an MSO. I just remember saying MCO.
So a lot of people don't know this, right? So you have your custom laws, your import and your export. So you got to understand law. So what happens is when these guns, when you buy these guns, they're assumed that they're imported into the United States. You're supposed to export those guns out of the United States. They're supposed to be imported or exported outside another jurisdiction. But what I'm trying to get people to understand, the law follow the property. So what I try to tell people, you're not paying for nothing. The money doesn't, it only allow you access to the content or the products within the franchise. It don't give you right of ownership, it only give you right of use. So all of this stuff that you see, all these people thinking that they don't own none of that. These Bentleys, none of that. They don't own nothing. That's why they only thing they own is the registration. They own that paper. That's what they own, and that paper come with instructions. So what Jamal and them didn't understand is that those guns was somebody else's intellectual property. They only had the right of using it. So that person who owns United States act as trustee over manufactured goods for the import and export
Chrysler,
of
GM,
goods,
Ford.
right? So United States control how everybody can use other people's intellectual property. So Smith and Wesson, you see what I'm saying? Now a Colt, you all these different gun manufacturers, they own the rights to those guns, right? United States is just acting as trustee, and now they enforcing everybody under their jurisdiction on how to operate in use of that per contract. But if you don't know how to export, you say, man, I'm purchasing these guns. Don't register these guns within the United States. Let me export those guns. You need to tell them where them guns are going. They're going outside of the United States. So now you get the paperwork. You got to go through customs for those guns to be registered outside of the United States into a particular jurisdiction under that particular jurisdiction customs and laws. Now when they
brother,
get
you on my mind.
you see what I'm saying?
So serial numbers, just like on it, not to cut your wisdom, but it's the same thing with the what's some of this fiat.
He done
the same thing on here.
Me.
On here, what you see, you got two signatories, right? You got the treasurer of the United States, and you got the Secretary of Treasury, right? Then you got the goddamn serial number. These numbers are the numbers that's on the gun. I remember. See what you saying to me. I remember because we went through a lot of trial and error up here in what they call in Michigan. It was people who would either take the serial numbers and file them on a goddamn UCC one, or scratch the numbers off the. We was doing all kind of crazy shit, but due to the fact we were doing all kind of crazy shit, we got some goddamn answers. You understand? We got to learn what was incorrect and what was doable. And again, we have to keep in mind too. A lot of these various circuit courts and shit like that. Some of this shit, they don't know this shit. We can't say that. The reason I'm saying this is because again, we know that they got millions of these goddamn policies on the fucking books. It ain't one goddamn attorney on earth that knows all of this shit. Clarence Thomas don't know every goddamn statute, act, code, all of that. They study law. Don't get me wrong. You understand? But at the rate of another 100,000 a year,
commerce law.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they doing business. They doing it well. You understand? I just don't like to fuck with them. I want them to, you know what I'm talking about? I don't want them in my affairs or whatnot. But again, even if, let's just say I had my son at a hospital, right? Let's say the total cost of that was $14,462.23, right? And I wrote them a check right there, right? That doesn't stop the state of Michigan from still processing a birth certificate and so on and so forth. I've been there, I've done that. They're gonna do it anyway by their Michigan compiled laws. You know what I'm talking about? They're gonna do now. His name ain't gonna be on there because I'm not giving them that information. You
Right.
understand? It's certain ways. That's it.
You going out, sis. You going out. They trying to.
Okay.
You
My
got-
major issue with everybody is this. Some things we just can't fucking afford. I started the bill off talking about I can't afford to be a flat earther. I'm talking about because I don't have the laboratories, I don't have the information to take something from being a theory or a hypothesis into it actually scientifically being respected as a fucking fact. And plus, we got too much other shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Before I go buy fancy telescopes and all of that to try to prove somebody wrong about what's on Mars and over here, goddamn it, we got too much other shit already going on.
Right.
So, like for example, when you talk about taking a case out of the jurisdiction of, we'll say, Dearborn District Court or some shit like that, and we gonna go in the federal jurisdiction with that. You understand? You going in your pocket. If you're not going in your pocket in order to have the case bonded over or whatnot, you know, you're saying what you're indigent. You understand?
That's right.
Just little old shit that I'm thinking about that we used to do back in the day. And again, it's like
federal courts, they call it also informer propers. On the federal side, but on the state side, it's indigent. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so at least I use it in the right place because I ain't went to no federal court
That
yet,
brother,
but I
told
use that.
you, brother on his,
Allen Park,
Definitely get his email,
Melvindale,
man.
Michigan, Lincoln Park, Michigan.
Yeah,
I will
get
tell
that
I'm
brother.
indigent. God damn it, I don't even know why you even.
But I'm gonna show you what's so cold about it, right? I got my minister's license, and my minister's license, we put all of that. So I got free reign to the court. We took a vow of poverty, and a vow of secrecy. So what they gonna say? We need to under the I'm under the contract with a religious institution that give me free reign. I ain't got because I know it ain't no money. What I'm gonna claim that I got some from? Don't nobody own nothing. All this you see, all these rich people, they don't own nothing. If you this is what I'm trying to get more to understand. If you're not manufacturing nothing, you don't own nothing. If you're not the manufacturer and you got the manufacturer certificate and label from all the way, we need to own our own guns, our own clothes, our own cars, everything.
All right.
We need to be industrial. This is what we need to head back to. So now we can say, now this is mine. You ain't got no jurisdiction. I made this car. You see what I'm saying? You don't own nothing about none of this. You can't tell me about nothing. This is my fundamental constitutional right that you said you're going to honor.
Islam, brother. Islam.
Yes, sir. Islam.
Peace. So this because I'm glad where you going, you find up my kundalini. But this what I want to know. The part about exporting the firearms.
Right.
This process, have you done this process?
No, I haven't done this process. But what I can do, I'm so intricate in law and I understand it is like if you look up tomorrow the law of property or property law. They have property law, and you need to understand property, right? Once you understand how property is being transferred, because when you go and pay for something, the Constitution says you only can pay for stuff with gold and silver. Don't say nothing about no Federal Reserve note.
No, that's kind
so when you go pay for that gun, it just gave you access of use. What that was, it's like a ticket for admission. Like we have what they call Kings Island. When you go to Kings Island, you pay, you get you a ticket, right, to get an admission and ride all the rides for free, right? You don't own the rides. You don't own the amusement park. You just get to enjoy the festivities, right? You get to take part in the amusement park. and then you got to go home when it's time for when they close. So when we talk about importing, exporting laws as it relates to that, you when you go purchase a car, all you got to do is ask them, like, man, I'm going to send this gun overseas. I was watching this white boy, right? He was on federal paper. He wasn't allowed to have a gun. He made his own gun, right? He made a two shooter 9mm. He made it out of metal. They charged him with that, right? Carrying a firearm, right? They had to drop it because he made the gun. He showed them how he made it. He wrote the manuscript on it. He wrote all of the stuff on it, and he published it. When he went to court, they had to drop the charges because they couldn't hold him for something that he created. He owned the rights to that gun.
Okay. Which, okay. So I believe in the spirit. So now, once before, now this is just something because I'm a dog owner. I used to get the newspaper from my neighbors. I stayed in an area where a bunch of pale Europeans, and they had where you could buy, in the newspapers and stuff. One of my neighbors, I guess he was a military guy or a militia type of guy, but he had a book. I got the book in my tote, because I kept it. I didn't put it down for the puppies to shit on. And you could buy the barrels, the springs, all of this. Now this is what I was wondering. So because I kept it, I say, wow. So if I just bought a bunch of barrels, bought a bunch of triggers, bought a bunch of the springs, and made these guns, would they be my guns?
Yeah, if you the manufacturer, but you got to look at it. Okay, so look, everything comes with instructions. Like you know how you put up your entertainment center. Back in the days when people had those, though you buy the entertainment center and then you get to give you the little tools to put it together, right? Those are the people that owns the right. Even though you put it together, they own the rights to it. So what you have to look at it, because what I teach is the law follow the property. The law always follow the property.
Mm, so we would have to mold our own barrels and triggers.
So if they gave you instructions on how to do it, 9 times out of 10, the manufacturing company
See,
own the
that's what
rights
he's saying.
to that
It
gun.
would still be
Gun.
theirs. That's their triggers. They have the numbers.
Right.
Right.
You have a base, and you will be replacing components that went to the original gun. So you would still have that original base, So it's yeah.
Well,
But
them
back
brothers,
to what you saying, that's what
them
people
brothers,
doing now, making their own.
they got the brothers now. So I sure hate that because the brothers, they are sovereign. They are indigenous, like Bobby say, they are the ancientest thing and this royal thing that everybody is talking about. But you gonna expect that white man to say, okay, because you got a piece of paper, you know, you know.
All they doing is whooping us with contracts. That's all they doing. So we have a right to inspect the contract. So what I try to tell people, right? A lot of brothers be trying to talk to me about certain things. They have what they call this franchise. I think it's called a franchise trust obligation of law. I think it's FTO. Trying to remember it, right? You have a right to inspect the contract before anything can be implied, because they use this implied law. There first must be something expressed. You can't imply anything until you show me until I can view the contract in writing. That's why everything first got to come in writing. This is why language and then it went into a form of writing. Writing was one of the greatest inventions known to man. Creating language and
Yeah,
writing.
that's it. That's us. Mother tongue, and yeah.
So writings, right? when you write stuff, it's very important. And this is why I try to tell people you can patent an idea. Like your birth certificate can be a patent, right? So I teach people all types of stuff to own your intellectual property because truthfully, that's the only thing you really can own because everything else God made. You don't have no rights to say you own something that God created. We are only trustees over what He created, and He made us trusteeship. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to act as gods. They trying to,
Right.
they trying to be God
Government,
over us.
government ordinance department.
Exactly. They trying to be our God. So we have to rebuke that power and put everything back in proper context and understand what they're saying. Because that's the thing. They're using the art of language to confuse us. They're practicing legalese. A brother was trying to tell me, oh man, that's in standard English. I said, who told you that legalese was standard English? I said,
Wow.
show me where it says that in the context of them in their Black's Laws Dictionary that anything that they use in their United States codes or any of their codes that is in standard English. I beg to differ. I said they're nothing but words of art to try to confuse you, and you have to stand on your own principles. You have to say, this ain't how we operate. Most people don't even like I was trying to tell the brother, how you gonna go in the courtroom and you don't even know the civil rules? Under our Ohio rules of civil procedure, they have rule 44. It has a determination of foreign law. Most of us don't understand when you go into a courtroom, you're supposed to give notice of who you are. How many of us give notice?
That's your paperwork precedes you. That's what he's talking
Right?
about.
Of course.
You're supposed to always give notice. How is you coming? Now you let them know I'm not coming under general jurisdiction, that I'm coming under I'm making a special appearance.
All right.
Appropriate persona,
So class.
pro se.
That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught.
You always come in under a special appearance, and
That's
then you
right.
let them know that, hey, I'm coming under a foreign jurisdiction. So I'm giving you notice of foreign law as it relates to treaty, and they got to prove that they got jurisdiction. Most people don't even come. Most brothers don't even come with the notice. So when you don't come with the notice, your rights already get waived because you're supposed to notify who you are.
Oh, man. But see, now that's back into what you said.
Well, if I pulled one of your cars out the other day and we was listening to Language of Loss, and I brought up venue prior to the status and jurisdiction and adjudication, well, subject matter jurisdiction, and they got too much shit. I'm tired of that. They just do too much.
But see, once you understand the principle, it becomes easy. This is what I try to.
I do.
This is what I'm saying, y'all.
I do, but the point being is, goddamn, they doing too much. You know what I'm saying? It's too much.
It's just distraction. We talking about okay. This is all I'm saying. A baby can understand this. If we the first one, please, this is my passion. Excuse my language for the baby. If we the first motherfuckers on the planet, we got jurisdiction. They have no standing. That's what I'm saying. Void ab initio. Anything that they come with is void ab initio because from the inception, from us making them tree-born, gravitations, whatever, we have the jurisdiction. It's just our people is so Jamie Foxx or not Jamie Foxx.
As far
R.
as
Kelly,
genetically or lineage wise, yes, you understand. But we talking about
what
power structures, right?
We talking about enforcement.
We talking enforcers. We talking about bullies. We talking about people there to kill your ass. What you say? Don't be talking about what y'all talk about right now. You can get killed. You know? Yeah. So that's coercion. It's like what everything you talk about all the time. We know. That's what I'm saying. Like our fight, and that's why the prophet said, "Peace be upon the prophet." Once again, I'm saying, he said our best wars is in the Christian church. Like we got to somehow all of that, the monies and energies, we have to try to wake. I don't know how we gonna Lord, only Lord know. It's a quickening. I know it's awakening. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but somehow the common sense got to kick in. Or who's who? I'm just saying, come on, man. I mean, they not gonna keep telling you. I mean, even if you learn just from Africa, the Pan African aspect. I mean, if everybody come from Africa, I'm just saying. So if we all black, we all Africans, we all black. I'm just saying, like, come on, y'all. Like, I mean, what it's gonna take, like, for us to like stand
Come
up?
together. We gotta come
And
together. We gotta operate from a point of love at all times. When I
right
love
back
you,
to gospel that
when
right.
I love you so much that I don't never want to see you hurt, that's when we gonna triumph.
Well,
See,
that's why I'm at right now. That's why I must be before my time. I don't know. Maybe I'm born in the wrong time, so I'm gonna try to come back. I don't know, but I'm ready for that now.
we here. So you born in the right time. It just gotta take this revolution. And what I try to tell people, don't label me as no black messiah because that's who they trying to kill. You know, they trying to kill
Oh
black
no,
messiah.
yeah, Messiah Factor, COINTELPRO. But the last message they gave was
Yeah,
they couldn't
Rex
make no
88 and all that,
martyrs.
what they call
They couldn't
that,
make no
King Alpha
martyrs.
Plan and all of that. Look,
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't making no martyrs though. They ain't gonna make no martyrs out of nobody. See, they know we kicking the truth right now. They know that the spirit of that truth is back in. That's why the reset, all of the same shit that was going on right around the prophet when they kicked Coolidge out, and then here come Delano Dope Boy Roosevelt with the New Deal. That's the whole reset now. That's why COVID came in right at the time of the 2020 census, because everybody was trying to say what they gonna put on it. What we gonna put? We indigenous. Everybody now we Indians. We own the land. We the Indians now. So now we knowing, oh, the Indians that the white man took the land from was the niggas. Oh, they the real. Oh, they is. Oh, so all of the ancient niggas that's supposed to just disappear, they
wait,
turned into the
pause. Let's
slave ship
pause, y'all.
niggas.
I was filling out an application. I don't know if it's the one, if it's the Sarah CERA program in Michigan, or if it was the federal program where you can get like what $30 off your internet bill or whatnot.
Yeah.
In the nationality section, you know they had African American, American Indian, Asian.
Yes.
But they had other was even there.
Other.
But they had one that said Black American, American Indian. It was one that went to. I said, wait a minute, what? I meant to show it to some goddamn body else. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
If
saying.
it was the application for
That's what I'm saying.
Michigan, yesterday was the last day. You know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to hurry up and get that shit in. And I saw that. I said, well, then, that's a new one.
That's right.
But check this, right?
That was coming.
Check
2019.
Look, they had African American.
Yep.
They had Native American,
Yes,
my bad.
Yes.
They had Asian. They had Hispanic and not
That's
Hispanic.
right.
And then they had one that said Black
That's
American Indian. That's what it said.
Yes.
So you know that's what I checked.
Yep.
Right. But the thing about it is, right?
Because it was in my mind. You check other, we know what they do with other.
Yeah.
You understand? It don't matter because all of them is you know, you're signing up as a subject anyway because you're signing up for some benefits and some
a contract. It's a contract. Anyway, that's what Bobby taught.
But it's all about how you contract. They got us kind of jacked up a little bit now with these electrical signatures and shit. But I look at them two different ways.
Man,
because a lot of stuff that I've, supposedly
But that's gonna help us in the end.
been an authorized signature on.
Watch.
I done wrote
All
Buzz
that.
Bunny on a whole bunch of shit.
Get rid of the
I'm
put
not
it on
gonna-
the grid. Watch.
But see, this is what we have to look at, right? So in Ohio, they got this thing called errors, omissions, and defects in their code, right? So
Repeat that for us one more time.
errors, omissions, omissions, and defects in the statute. It's under Ohio Revised Code, right? Where anytime there's a document or a contract or anything where there's an error omission, you can go back and have the court correct whatever it is, right? So I tell them everything is based upon classification. Everything is based upon class. So you can misclassify yourself, can be an error or a defect in the instrumentality. And you have a right to correct that and say, well, there was an error. Or you could write that institution and say, hey, there was an error. I'm going to put you on notice. This is who I am. Right?
Hey, is that the same process as the fictitious name or something like that? The science of the fictitious name? Is that
Is a fictitious name is just a name that is that depends on what under the statute is just a fictitious name is a name. It can be also used as an alias. It's just a fictitious name.
so that's not the straw man all cap letter. That's not that.
See, what I try to tell people when they put the straw man in all caps, right? And all of that. What I keep trying to tell people, this is our problem. And I'm going to tell everybody on this live, your problem is most of y'all are greedy. Y'all trying to use their instrument to get the bag. You don't want to let go of their stuff. Get off the white man titty and start understanding this is about getting your own.
There you go. That's the problem. Back
We
to
won't let go. We won't let go. We refuse to let go.
They said that.
No, we refuse to let go. We just refuse.
But brother, but I'm gonna ask you this: can you make manna? Can you make quail for these people to eat?
Can we make it? Well, it's already made. The thing about it is, we just have to exercise our rights. Well, we got to know what those rights are, and they're fundamental. They're fundamental rights. You got to understand all of this stuff. The United States ain't nothing but one big paper. Ain't nothing but paperwork. It's
That's
all
right.
paperwork.
That's right. That's right.
So we get caught up in the paperwork. So they tell you you can't do this and you can't do that and you prohibited. That's for them. They the ones who. That's why they pulling you under that jurisdiction so they can tell you what you can and can't do. Really, that was for them. They the ones who was under the prohibition.
That's right.
They was the ones who couldn't do all of this because we knew how to take care of the land because we took care of the land before they got here.
All right. You fed the people and you will feed them again.
Yeah, so you got to think about it. Before they came, we had a whole bunch of wildlife running around. They get over here, they start making everything extinct. Why?
They had a science of how to purify water and preserve the food.
Yeah.
You understand? So, if anything, the greatest thanks in the world, you know what I'm saying, is more than old. Like, it should me out. Remember when Donald Trump, I don't know if he had been elected or not already, but he was already CEO or whatnot. But he said, black people, you guys don't realize, do you know what you did? You know what I'm saying? That your people did for this country.
Yeah, ooh.
You understand? Ooh. Like, just to look on the devil's face. His face telling you,
dang.
I know.
What?
You know what I'm saying? But y'all got amnesia so fucking bad.
There we go. Back to take it back,
yourselves.
Mom. Back.
Y'all don't know.
Amnesia.
And
don't forget.
It ain't painful for him. That painful ass look he had on his face. It ain't painful for him that we don't know. It's the very reason that we don't know is why he's so prosperous.
This
You understand?
this is it about a national. A national understands. He's a national. The pain he felt was saying he thank God that it ain't them no more. You know, thank God. You know, God damn. You know, ooh.
He said, vote for me. What do you have to lose, black people? Vote for me.
Sure.
That's
What
the
you got
niggas
to lose?
And in the psyche of most melanated people, you know what we said? Motherfucker, you right.
He was right.
What do we have to lose?
He was
You
right.
understand? It really, I don't fuck with him. I don't, like I said, I don't fuck with the Fed Republicans no more than I fuck with the Democrats. You understand? They cousins.
Wolf of the Fox.
They are literally blood lineage to
Flat
one
out.
another.
Flat out.
You understand? But
Flat out.
my suggestion is
They killed all the
we
Republicans.
start small. We start with this seatbelt shit. You understand? And that way, knowledge that the people actually need in order to get in their proper persons, they'll understand it better. They can understand me talking about, remember when the police used to pull you over and bust out your headlight and your tail light instead? That was the reason they pulled you over. The seatbelt law allows for them not to have to do that no more. You understand? Oh, you ain't have your seatbelt on?
Remember.
And then in your psyche shit, this is the thing. You know they don't care about your safety. It's a safety belt. Why some motherfucker who don't care? If he turned an emergency lights on, it was supposed to be to assist me in an emergency situation, not to sexually assault me, not to verbally insult me. You know what I mean? Not to violate any goddamn thing, and so on and so forth. And this is what they've been doing. This is
protection and service.
Majorly concerned about this based upon the sons. And not just the young women too. You understand? Because I've been in that situation starting from the age of 13. Police fucking with me. You know what I'm talking about? So it goes. We got to do something about this. You understand? One little what they say.
Time for us to separate from them. Period. I mean, the thing about it is, I listen. It's just time for us to do us and let them do them. Time gonna run this course.
People remember.
We need to get away from that.
Remember who they are.
You see what I'm saying? We gotta deal with them to a certain extent, but at the same time, we don't need to work on their jobs. We don't need to live in their neighborhoods. We don't need to be doing none of that thing because we already know they don't never have our best interests. We
know this. We know this, brother. But how do they eat turkey for Thanksgiving without that? How do they have the Christmas ham?
We come together, create a manufacturer. Like for example, this is how simple it is. I'm gonna give you a plan of action. They say it's 13 million colored people, black people. They say in America right now, 13 million. I mean, 13%. Right? Okay. There's something like out of 365 people, there's something like 30 million, 40 million, something like that. 30 million people. If I ask all these people for $1 a month, just $1.
That's right. You talking my language. I love you.
Just $1. We can create an institution to start doing something to help us grow food and push food directly to us.
I put a post on, brother. I put a post on my page for my friends and told them just what you said. I said, look, some of y'all got thousands of friends. I said, $1. I said, I don't want it for myself. I'll donate right now. Y'all choose any one of my friends on my list and say, give them $1. I'm finna give it to them right now. And we all do it together right now.
But we gotta have a plan of action. That's the thing. So my goal, right, what I teach is estate planning, right? This is what I teach, right? I teach people, I tell people, right, you gotta start planning your life from birth to death. Your mom and daddy supposed to have a plan for you. When you get a certain age, you're supposed to take over and have a plan of action for yourself. I try to tell people
And the brother
when
not
we
feeling.
when we don't plan, we plan to fail. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we must put these plan, estate planning into effect, because that's all they doing. That's all they doing. They beating us because they coming. They always got a plan. They got a plan for us. I try to tell people if you ain't planning your life, somebody else is planning your life for you. So how you want to go about this?
These niggas ain't
The brother, what he's saying is everybody say you got 4,000 Facebook friends, and we know you don't even communicate with all 4,000 of them. Let's just say you did. Each one of them send you $1, right? And
today.
Then you send $1
Tuesday.
to I don't know. I that ain't gonna. I understand that would be powerful, but the fact that out of what I got 4,944, 54, 64 people, all them people not communicating with me. It would be beautiful, but we don't even think Facebook algorithm would allot that too. We have to, you know what I'm saying? Look at how you write. You know what I'm saying? We all right.
In theory.
This
In
is
theory.
in various modes how to get things done or whatnot.
You say the algorithm.
I just say we got to
Well,
start.
come on with the melanin book.
We got to get.
Let's get the melanin. Tell your cousin. Let's get the melanin book going. We want all these more these melaninated people to come in here.
First and foremost, for them to even
and we're gonna do a money gift, a treat, a blessing. $1. All your friends, you say you got $1,000.
He gonna run pork chop and pass the pimp in the people.
This is, for example, right? Just think about how much money black people get
this wealth,
right? Shit. Think about what the churches was supposed to really be our guide, but these pastors misused the money, started buying them planes, cars, and houses. That money should have been used for businesses. That money's supposed to be used to uplift the community.
Right.
Create
Sister Jones' house from going into foreclosure.
Light bill
Keep
paid.
Brother Joe from losing his house by way of property taxes or somebody likes. Yeah, you exactly right. And this is what of course other nationalities do, within their own communities or whatnot. But we can say, some of our people have a hand in it. Then at the same time, along with the church on every other corner, it's a liquor store too. You understand? Yeah. Then we know this don't account for every city, but where we at, we know that's what it is. Just as many liquor stores as it is on Puritan and Finkel, it's just as many churches.
But we have to. This is what I'm saying, right?
It's the problem.
I was talking to your husband about a lot of stuff because we be supposed to be doing some business, right? And I was talking about teaching how to get around a lot of property taxes, teaching around how to go about. See, like for example, a lot of us go to work. So I went and got my minister's license for a reason. So guess what we supposed to do? We supposed to be taking our money and donating it to the church. The church then is a tax. Like when you got to understand what they call a taxable event. Giving donations is a non-taxable event. So guess what? We supposed to be taking that money we get from our job, right? That job, that money from the church, since you go a minister or you hold ministerial duties within the church is supposed to say, okay, we gonna rent you an apartment, or we gonna accommodate your needs, right? Now you can claim majority of your money, and you can say, well, I gave this money for the church, right? And now you can write to IRS and you can ask for those deductions and see if you can get a refund on some of the monies that you gave to the church. And long as you have a church that exists, right, you can show, right, that you got a church within the state and that you donated the money there, Now you can start keeping a large percent of your money, and it won't go out in taxes. These
That'd
are
be
just
a 501c3 or a
you ain't got to
501.
be a 501. You
Or
ain't got
however
to
you,
do
no, no,
none
no,
of
no.
that.
I'm not saying that you have to, but initially, a piece to the guy, Dr. Lean L. Bay, we had a temple up here, and this is what was happening. People, you know what I'm saying, was bringing their deeds in, they titles to their cars. Yes, they checks. I'm saying that you are correct, but we have issues with trusting one another. You understand, when
Exactly.
you have the right grand sheik and the right grand sheik is
No,
in
no, no,
place.
no,
You
sis.
understand?
Create your own church.
Yeah.
No, listen to
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
you
Go
are right.
out, go.
That's
That I think about
because
that shit every day for the
I'm
past
talking
20 years. The next house I buy, I'm gonna say it's a fucking church. That way,
about, yeah, create your own church. Donate
like,
to go
La
because
Casa Mi
not
Padre.
not not not. I'm gonna
Hey,
tell you
you
something.
know the
Not,
La
now you
Casa Mi Padre.
on some old school shit because most churches started in people houses. That is the truth.
Lady next to me at work talk
That
about it
is a
all the
fact.
time. That's
That
what
is a
her
fact.
grandparents.
That's right.
She say her grandparents' house started in the house.
Shit, the oldest, some of the first slaves in this area, Miss Mott. That's her granddaddy house. That was the first church. That's an African. Her shit. They put a historical goddamn landmark on her thing.
Mm.
Yeah, at
I
the
guess
house.
so. We out here with the address 41, and then talking about 15. Your address 15 down. Look who we at. You know what I'm talking about?
The
Yeah,
beginning, yeah. This
right.
because that's Fort. That Fort. See, now that's where we need to
Fort
go.
Street.
We need to go right down here to the Star Fort. I'm telling you because this. You're right. It's a lot. Bobby, peace be upon him. He said the last battle of the Moors was Battle Creek.
Mhm.
So that's what he taught. And every time I go past there, they got about General Custer. Just before you get into Battle Creek, they got this whole stretch of land that's for General Custer. And right after General Custer, you in Battle Creek.
Mhm.
And we know what General Custer was about.
Right.
But yeah.
And Andrew Jackson and
All right now. All right now.
Like
All
I said,
right
all
now.
these towns named Jackson and Jacksonville need to. They talking about tearing down statues. They need to be changing them names.
Right.
Jacksonville, Florida. That's the worst shit ever.
Yeah, man. Andrew Jackson is something different.
Jackson, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi.
Ooh, don't talk
You know what
about
I'm
Jackson,
saying?
Michigan. That's where the penitentiary at. Man.
Right. Hello.
yeah, a lot of this, man. We gotta go ahead and get back to the roots of things, and that's why
I'm with it, brother. Like I said, if you can get your friends, I don't know. I don't know how we start. Like sister said, we got a problem trusting people. That's because everybody.
come out of contract. That's what you do. You put a contract out there. Boom, everybody who donate $1, you put a contract, and you put certain conditions on there. And these people run out with the money. Guess what? You can file criminal charges. You had a contract. That person signed it. Sometimes the truth of the matter, sometimes you got to do that to keep each other honest. You see what I'm saying? He run off. He just and you put in there the stipulation like you run off with this money that the people will trust you with.
I'm okay. All
You're
right.
gonna get automatically 10 years in jail.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Whatever y'all want to do, I'm with it. I know brother Dr. Alim, he said we need 10,000 Moors. We could take back the land. I know we got 10,000 Moors. I know it's 10,000 woke, melanated Negroes that know about Moors history that would understand and could identify even in Pan-Africanism. They North Africans, so they Moors. And I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, let's we got to snap out of it. I mean, let's break the spell. I mean, let's wake out of this amnesia. The sisters bill tonight is we so old we didn't forgot who we be.
We got to start with love, man. We got to start with
Love,
love. Like
love, wake them
we
up.
got the self hate thing going on so bad, man.
Quite
We,
naturally.
we I mean,
Stand
I don't. I be tripping out off of what's going on with the youngsters.
I hate my condition. You say Brother Jamal and them got in trouble for the use of their firearm, but goddamn Bundy, he at home eating enchiladas and sipping margaritas.
That's because this is what we have to get done, right? Like this is what we have to understand, right? And this is what I be trying to tell brothers. Before you start going over and playing in somebody's house, you need to know the rules. So it's time to get down. What they did, they rocked us to sleep. We used to be merchants. We did business all over the world. We
Yeah,
don't
that's
make nothing. We don't make nothing no more.
he say he took all of the
We consumers.
all of the export import. That's the story of Solomon. That's the story of Solomon and Adonijah.
Yeah. We ain't nothing but we listed as consumers. You see what I'm saying?
All our import, export, merchant.
We do not manufacture
See,
nothing.
that shit heavier than Mason shit, man. Solomon is heavier than I'm telling you, man. They couldn't be Moors, they could be Masons, man. And they took our shit and they holding that sword over us, man. That's why they rocking the fez, man. That they running our shit, man. They running it free willy nilly
They
playing.
wanted to be us.
He said Washington D.C. This is on Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg got the Shooter series, talking about all this Yugoslavian shit that's going on right now. He talked about it 3 years ago. This shit is all scripted. They talking about Yugoslavia killing the president, this whole 9 yards. So if the president come up dead, it'll be some Bart Simpson shit. But in there, on one of the episodes, he say that they talking about these big wigs in Washington D.C. He says that Washington D.C. should be called plausible deniability.
They use that term plausible deniability only because people don't understand how to utilize the law and the law of contract. And they'll throw that up in the term plausible deniability. Now that's not
That's the name of Washington D.C. is plausible deniability.
Like eminent domain and shit.
Fuck eminent domain, plausible. Like he say, I know who you are, but I'm gonna pretend like you them niggas, them niggas. You see what I'm saying? You look like one of them. You smell like one of them because they say we stinky. So you smell like one of them. You look like one of them. So I'm gonna plausible deny that you are more, and I'm gonna just say you a nigga, a Christian nigga. That's what you is. But you say you are more, but I'm gonna pretend like you a nigga. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna treat you and pull you out your shit like sister say, and do you like we do niggas, because you look like a nigga, you smell like a nigga, you look like a nigga.
And boy, I'm gonna tell you what it boils down to. They saying, well, a Moor should know how to handle his own affairs. You acting like a nigga because only niggas act like this. Only niggas gonna follow these policies because niggas, another word for nigga, ain't nothing but slave.
That's all.
You ain't nothing but a slave.
Nothing but a slave.
A slave follow these policies. Only
Yep.
a fool will follow these rules.
Yeah.
That's what they looking at.
Yeah.
So,
But what I'm saying, big brother, is right now in your neighborhood, in your block alone, you probably got 40 or 50 houses, right?
right.
And if you step outside right now on your porch and you look at that 40 and 50 houses and 3 people at least, because there's at least 3 people in your house right now.
Right.
All them is thinking like niggas. You the only one thinking like you thinking. So all them would say that you crazy. If them people came right now on your block and said that you is a radical or you is a what they say we is
domestic terrorists and shit.
Paper terrorists, no, what's the name? Self-identical extremists. Identity extreme, you are the extreme identical extreme. Okay.
Right.
If they come on your block right now and tell them people, them 40 houses at 3 people apiece. Now you do the math. And all them step out their door when them flashing lights and say, what's going on? Is the house on fire? And they say, no, they pulling him out of there because he's an extreme identity. And they say, what he talking about? He say he a Moor and they own the land and they don't have to pay taxes and this is a fraudulent government and they hollering UCC codes and USC codes and all this shit. None of them people know. They'll say that nigga crazy. Don't take it.
That's why we start with the safety belt.
Right.
That's why we start with the safety belt. Start in inches and start in baby steps. I don't know. Let's do safety belts.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
And that's for everybody else. That ain't for us. We need to know everything he know. We need to know.
That's what I've been saying.
We need to know. I don't
because
care.
If they kill the leader,
I don't care
that's
if you
what
a Moor, Hebrew Israelite Moor, a Pan African Moor. I'm gonna call y'all all Moors. What you want me? You feel better if
they
I call you
raised.
a Negro?
They more raised. The Hebrews more raised. They more raised.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? And this is what I say. For me, I'm putting the institution together. I'm gonna build my foundation for the people. It ain't gonna I'm not telling people they gotta know what I know. I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm gonna put something together that I know gonna work, and I want them to go and focus on their talents and what they're doing, because we all got our own talents.
Well, the first thing you're gonna have to do, brother, whatever you do in building, you're gonna have to make sure that their refrigerator got a bunch of chicken in it, some broccoli and some cabbage and corn, because the first thing talking about pulling out of any system is you got to be able to feed, clothe, and shelter these people. Okay.
Well, it ain't the system. With the institution I'm finna put together, it's gonna be based on understanding the truth. And what we're gonna put together, once it's together, it's going to put the mirror back on them, because they had a responsibility to do. We're gonna show people how to get rid of
it. See, that's what we used to talk about. That Prophet Noble Drelly, peace be upon him again. That's the hard cross to carry. A lot of these niggas don't want to carry no hard cross. They not looking. They is Betty Crocker, man. Like I was just okay. This was the last conversation, and I'm gone. But this is just the show. We talking about forgetting who he is, and forgetting who he is gonna take us right back to this point. Because every future show we'd never seen, they damn near right back at horse and buggy. Okay, horse and buggy. So we in horse and buggy, right? I'm a horse and buggy type of man. A lot of people that we dealing with is not horse and buggy people. They don't want to get up and have to chop no wood to keep the oven hot. They don't want to have to go try to trace no chicken down and pluck him to eat for half fried chicken. They not finna gut no fishes. They don't forget how to take a fork and scale them. So I'm saying, man, we so dependent, man. The brother said, man, you eating right out of his hand. Our women have to eat out of his hand. That's why they don't respect us, because they got to go to work and see him as the boss, him as the big man. He the one who decide if I'm gonna stay here and can feed and keep my lights on for my kids. That's what I'm talking about. What Sister Tracy Sharon Gale went to jail for trying to keep lights on using damn batteries. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
We know it was more than that. We ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? So leave it at that or whatever. There was other issues, with the property or whatnot concerning that sister. But big up to that sister. I've spoke up for her. You know what I'm saying? A couple times. I done lost some Facebook friends, based off of that, and I don't care.
Let them be gone.
But I want to say this too. At the main driver would be us being in a better financial situation. I'll just put it that way.
Finance
You
takes
know, to be
finance.
yes,
Profit.
to
Right
be
to the
able to
profit.
fund various movements and soup kitchens and laboratories
Finance.
and
Fund the
everything.
nation. That's
Now,
right.
although we don't hold a large percentage of this nation's wealth, we
No,
do have
we
some
do.
wealthy brothers and sisters. And what the problem is, one of the problems, the number one
Oafs,
problem
oafs.
the number one problem with us being able to have our movements financed by our own is these weirdo motherfuckers like a polite, you understand, who got this knowledge, right? And he's going to the wealthy people like Floyd Mayweather or something like that with the information or whatnot. And Floyd do big business,
Yeah.
so Floyd is comprehending what Brother Polite is talking about, as well as Magic Johnson and so on and so forth, right? So again, you got weirdo people, you understand, that run scams and do scam artist type of shit on type of doing weirdo type of pedophilia type of shit that makes these movements look bad. Because don't think for a minute somebody like a Jay-Z don't know, you know what I mean,
The
where
more
he's getting that.
science. About more
Yes, and where
science.
Polite got that information
More
from.
science.
You
Say what it
understand?
is, because they
It's
know it.
it's some weirdos that did some weirdo shit that'll kind of fuck shit up for us a little bit. That's why I say we have to
Did I say something?
size and start low and come back. That's one of the financial issues and shit, because it does take funding in order to function.
Yes.
Period. Let
Yes.
alone trying to be a leader or an assistant to a leader or a soldier or a warrior, whatever it is.
All right.
It's going. You gotta eat. You gotta shit. You understand?
Your people gotta
you
eat.
you
And
you
they got
me.
the
My
shit.
hygiene has to be up to par. I can't
Right.
be out here broke as hell, and I can't afford my little body
That's
oils.
morale. That's why soldiers.
Could I say something?
Yes.
Can I say something? And this is what I'm gonna say. For finance, most of us don't even understand finance. This is why I keep trying to tell us, let's stop being hypnotized about this money thing. The money thing is an illusion. It's nothing but paper. The money, when we talking about funding, everything that man does starts in the mind. All it is us coming together and working together. The money is nothing but a catalyst.
We there.
Access. Can I say access? We need
But this
to be
is
able
what
to have access to housing, to food.
We with him.
You understand? So I'm not, we're working against it, but at the current time, how do we access that without utilizing the fiat currency? Or even if I had gold and you will take the gold, you know what I mean, for
because I'm showing a post right now where they trying to help people right now because of this COVID and the new stimulus. They talking about getting niggas $36,000. You know them niggas finna contract. Who ain't finna contract for 36,000 paper dollars?
So this is what I'm
you
trying
go buy weed, you want all the liquor, you want
we
all
hypnotized by the money, right? And this is what I had to come to understand, right? This is what I had to come to understand. And this is what I'm saying. This is why we forgetting who we are, because we chasing the wrong thing. We're not chasing our history. We're not chasing who we are. We're chasing the dollar. And it's all a mirage. Those people don't, it's a lot of people teaching finance. And I'm like, how the hell you gonna teach finance when you can't tell me about the Constitution? How you gonna teach finance and you don't even know treaty? You can't. Because you don't know the rules to the game in which being played. How you gonna play a game and you don't even know the rules? So if they tell you that gold and silver is money, why is you playing this game of fiat? These people don't own nothing. When you see LeBron James dribbling ball, he has a nice Bentley, a nice house. When this bubble bursts, they're coming to collect. The bill collector is coming to collect because you don't own nothing. You don't own none of that. You never paid for nothing. So what I'm trying to get people to get caught up out of the chasing the dollar. Let's go back to building, manufacturing. Let's go back to manufacturing, being industrial. If the prophet said we got to be industrial, you must be industrial as a nation. What is your nation building? We sit back buying Gucci, Prada, Red Bottom. We buying all of these people things with worthless money. We spend all our money, all our time dreaming about what they got. Look at the
And
national.
he said we could just give them away.
You say Reverend who said that?
Rabbi Finkelstein on Facebook, on YouTube. He said, man, we got so many diamonds. Okay.
We're chasing the wrong things, and then we talk. This is the thing. Once you understand the system, then you can break it down and understand. You can put what plan of action you need to take. But if you thinking like them, you gonna always be broke. You gonna always have it hard because we think that we need their money to fund everything. Do y'all understand funding come in various types of funding? Like if you understand contract law, let's say you need 100 people. I can organize my institution to fund you with 100 people to help you get your project done. And then we can create a contractual obligation and say, based upon we organized and got you the 100 people to do that, you are indebted in what? 50 ounces of gold. We think we always
Looking at their debt clock over here in real time, and I see
$30
30 trillion, 30,551,000,000,000, 98,100,200,000, the 250,000, 300,000, 400,000.
Because that's the money they
just
owe.
flipping.
That's the
30
money
trillion.
they owe us, right?
551. This
That's
the U.S. national debt. Now, you have to investigate further than that because you have to look at the gross domestic product. You know what I mean? You have to really indulge in investigating this. You understand? And then
They look at the gross domestic.
So to have a comparison, you go to the world debt clocks and you say, well, goddamn, if they got 30 trillion, let's see what's going on. You understand? Now, when you get to talking to these gurus who deal with the numbers, to deal with the to deal with these commercial presentments or whatnot, you understand? They're gonna tell you that the debt is the money. You understand? So it's so many various aspects.
That's what it says.
Deal with
national.
This.
But look at the term. I want y'all to understand and pay attention. It says national debt. U.S. nationals. A U.S. citizen is deemed a U.S. national. Everybody who is a corporation, this is what you owe as a corporation. Mm-hmm. This is what you owe. This ain't for Moors. This ain't for indigenous people. This is national debt. This is for your corporations out there. What you think gonna happen when this is all for every corporation in America that you can think about, they owe this money. Every sense of a corporation. A corporation is an individual, an LLC, a corp, an S corp, a C corp. All of these different corporations.
Wow, bro. Hell, he don't know we do this all the time. See what they do.
What I'm saying? So all of these corporations owe that debt. Anything that's incorporated under the United States owe that debt. So long as you coming under that corporate status, right? That debt belongs to you too. If you pay $1 or all of it, it's all you owe it. You're a part of the debt system.
So
This is
let me
why
say this to the people too, not to cut your wisdom, but y'all hear me talk about how this is the largest, wealthiest criminal enterprise known to man and or whatnot. We're looking specifically at the amount of the debt, which is 30 trillion, right? Let's come down here. Let's look at the total national assets. That's 196 trillion, right? So when I be talking about how wealthy these motherfuckers then got off human trafficking and so on and fucking so forth, I don't be playing. You understand? This is why when we start to talk about, we'll just be general right quick and say reparations. They admit the shit. You understand?
Yeah.
But as far as them willing to pay something, they like, no, show us we need some research. We need some factoids. You know what I'm talking about? we you know what I mean?
Fact checkers.
Stop handing us what we wrote historically. We need some numbers. This is gonna take some time. Now is gonna get to the point today, like, we don't have it, bitch. Yes, you do. Because right here, like I said, this
study going up
196 trillion, 820 billion, 167 million, and yes, this is steadily going up. Thank you, brother, for even mentioning that. Household assets. This is, I'm talking about. What a gross domestic product number at though? What I was looking for.
I saw that up here somewhere.
I was looking at it on something else. I was looking at the GDP, but I was looking at it according to the world debt clock over here. Okay, damn. I done already switched it out. Which you see here, that don't balance. 30 trillion versus 23 trillion. That don't balance out.
That's 7 trillion. You playing with 7, that's sacred number again? 7.
Oh, I thought you said they shut us down. Yeah, the gross domestic product. That's why they saying y'all can't have no abortions. Being that they pledge, you know what I'm saying, their citizens, that human capital, for their debt. So we, speaking real, but the people don't want to hear that. The people don't want to give up their bridge cards. The people don't want to give up none of the benefits.
No, people looking for bridge
you know what I mean? Well, not privileges or whatever you want to call it. Which, what are you gonna do?
Chicken wings.
Somebody is responsible for, and we don't talk about the deaths that they're responsible for. You know what I'm talking about? But we don't talk about the property. You know what I mean? I just think about the land and fuck it. I'll just deal with the 20th century, the 1900s or whatnot. The properties that were taken from, you know what I mean? I'm talking about from my direct bloodline. I don't have to go back and look at
right.
The Wall Street, the one event that all of us seem to know about. When we had our ancestors had an entire red summer where they did this, they looted multiple towns. It's 60 something that's on record. So you think about the ones that wasn't even recorded. So they are deeply indebted for us. They're indebted prior to that for going through the Black Plague and our ancestors going and saving their ass. The people who didn't bathe, the people who did not have the science of how to purify water and preserve food. You understand? The people who originally had a lifespan of about 34 years max, they weren't living very long. So the same way they have a negative birth rate today and don't really, particularly care about human life, you understand? Is the same way they didn't back then when they was digging up the graves of their brothers and sisters and wives and husbands and eating them, because again, they didn't have the science of how to purify water and preserve food during an era in which they made claims that they were bringing melanated people from the west coast of Al-Kibu line over here to the islands. I can't even say, I can say to the Americas, but specifically I'm talking about the islands. That's right?
That's right. But this is
they always want to talk about the South. The South did this, and the South with the Jim Crow, and the South when goddamn it, the Eastern Market right here in Detroit, it was a slave port, right? We not in the South. But then again, Detroit was considered to be Dey-Twah, a portion of Louisiana, because Antoine D. Cadillac was the governor of Louisiana, right?
Right.
So how was he the governor of Louisiana living right here in what he labeled Dey-Twah in 1701? Was this territory considered a part of Louisiana prior to the Louisiana Purchase? I would say yes. If you look at the fucking maps, how the fuck is he again? How is Antoine Cadillac the governor of Louisiana, as well as the founder of the city known as Dey-Twah or Detroit. You know what I'm talking about? At the same time in 1701. I say because you're sitting on that ancient land right now.
Yeah. The GM building is Fort Cadillac. That's where the fort was at. Thank you.
And this is
Rest
what
my case.
this is why I want to say this, right? This is why we hit so hypnotized, right? We're chasing that money. And by us chasing and adopting that ideology, this is why we don't know who we are. Because we're too busy trying to chase what they created for us instead of chasing what we know, what we should know about us.
And the
We too
magic
busy
is on the
doing
radio
that.
and the TV. They can't shake. Right now, man, they hooked on Pussy Valley.
He said the real name of the shit. I can't be a fan because I don't, you know what I mean?
I don't even watch TV for real no more, bro.
You bet not, Mo. I would tell you, man, them witches and warlocks is not playing with you. They are the lords of illusion, man.
Yeah, I'm
They
not.
are
I
the
don't
lords
even
of
really.
illusion.
I'm too busy trying to critically think about like that's why I know so much about law. I don't pretend because I try to tell people the devil is in the details. I say they don't beat you with the big stuff. Most people know the big stuff. They beat you with the small things. The little
Always
shit.
small print. Always the shit you can't hardly read.
Yeah, they beat you with the small print. They beat you with the small things. So I try to tell people the devil is always in the details. And if you don't know the details, you gonna be in some trouble. So it's all about how you understand how to move. So what I tried once I realized, like brothers be trying to talk to me about their money, and I be like, nigga, you broke. You don't own nothing. Tell me one thing that you manufacture that you own and license to the world. Name one thing. You don't. So all this money you think you got, when they change the system over to a digital coin, you ain't gonna have nothing. All that money that brothers is hiding and burying and got in this, they thinking that they doing
Look,
something.
But
it ain't even buried. Now let's get on some science that I learned a long time ago, right? The money, the excuse me, the promissory notes or the fiat, they got these strips in them, right?
Right?
Okay, so what was told to me 25 years ago or 20 years ago was that the strips coincide with they satellites, right? So if I got 15 million in the flow in the kitchen, they know I got 15 million in the flow in the kitchen. So my scenario, I've always rolled like this. If let's just say I acquired by some type of way 300 million or 2 billion or whatever it is, I'm spending all of it as fast as possible because I know what to go and get. I'm trying to obtain certain things. You understand? So if it's by way of signature that I'm obtaining these things, then that's fine. If it's just so happen to be by way of, that's why they copyrighting the seeds and shit too. You understand? Because let's say I so-called purchase so much land, and on that land I begin to cultivate, various vegetables and all type of shit. What happened? It broke again. Read the screen. 14 billion paper bank. Well, I'm just saying, I'm spending. I diversify your funds as fast as I can spend it. Yes, some of it is going to be a recoup by way of sales by various products and shit, but I'm continuously putting that shit back out there. Here, here, here. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you will take these pieces of paper for a submarine? Here you go. I mean,
that's what I'm trying to say.
They've always promoted that. That's propaganda.
Yeah.
I think that's propaganda.
Yeah.
What
Bitcoin, they were saying that people can't even go to Bitcoin with their shit and use it right now in certain places. Shit. That was
That's-
all that, yeah.
my guy,
we put a spell in that. I'm just rocking with that. I see you.
They always trying to just like the Bitcoin right
Spell
now.
that shit. They can't
Like
get.
a lot of people
Let me see
don't
that.
know.
The almighty dollar. This is what they call this motherfucker. The almighty dollar.
What a lot of us don't know, they scared of crypto. It's only about 1% of the nation that's actually, or 5% of the nation actually dealing in crypto, period. Most of us are scared of it. Most of us don't have the knowledge of it, but it's going to happen. Most of us don't understand the ramifications because
So,
in the
so
minute, I have to bring my dude on here.
sovereigns ain't fucking with no crypto, man.
Yes,
Because
listen, they
crypto got to do with Big Brother and more censorship.
listen. I'm gonna tell y'all, they getting rid of the dollar. It ain't gonna be no more paper money. It's gonna be called programmable money. And that money, this is what's gonna make it so bad, right? It's a lot of people gonna be getting this assistance, right? They already calling particular groups a useless class. They say there are people in America they consider as a useless class.
Yeah, they called undesirable workers. Wait a minute, what did he call them? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
And
what y'all gotta understand is right. The money gonna be programmable. You ain't gonna be see with the dollar bill. You can take it, you can hide it, you can do all types of stuff with it, right? But with the programmable money, you ain't gonna be able to hide it. They gonna know everything, and you gonna have to
Every dollar,
spend it.
every roll of toilet paper. That I see. I can't see. I just can't see dealing with that and
Well,
calling
that's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
God or operating as a sovereign as
As it's
sometimes
because a
not to me.
sovereign, that's what the world finna go into. And what I'm trying to tell people, we have to go into preparedness. We can't go in this with eyes wide shut. We got to have our eyes fully open and looking into stuff and getting prepared. I'll probably do something because we about to get our stuff together pretty soon, and I'm gonna be able to show people certain things about.
I'm with you, brother. Like I say, anywhere I can help, bro. Like, hey, you in Ohio, so we cousins, man. We right here where all the conspiring really went down, man. Just the golden circle, man.
Right,
You
right,
know, this way
right,
it all went down right up in here, man. You know, we
right,
from a whole nother country.
right. And I just think that in order for us to go
You
back
know,
to our ancient ways, we
the
got to jump
French,
off the system.
Dey-Twah.
yeah,
We
them killing
we chasing their
motherfuckers.
money too much.
French, they own all of the ports. They own look, they own all of the ports. They own Louisiana, big port. They own Detroit, big port. They own Chicago, big port. You understand what I'm saying? Them French, man, you got to watch them, man.
I
All of
just want to
Canada up
know
in there.
why these people don't want to go
Miko.
home. God damn. Go
You
your ass
know
back
why?
to
You
France. Go
know
your ass
why?
back to England. Go
Because
your
none
ass
of
back
that
to
was
Spain.
theirs. All the
Go back.
castles was ours.
I don't care. Take your ass back home.
The Georgian mountains is all they have. Or the steepy forests.
I
The
don't
steepy
care.
forests. The
God
steepy
damn.
forests
Go
are
home.
theirs.
Shit.
Steepy
You know
forests
you
are
all wore your
theirs.
goddamn welcome. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
In
can
the
even hold
Georgian
shit
mountains.
down without sending for your fucking
Yeah,
cousins to
speaking
come
on it,
over
there
here
they go.
too.
That's who own England and shit. That's you. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going. Excuse me. Keep y'all on here all
Oh,
night.
we've been here all night. It's
Right,
love,
right.
number
Yeah.
love. Number love, brother. I'm gonna get your email so we can link up and stay in contact, brother. I appreciate
All right, brother.
intellectual property. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. I
Peace
enjoyed
and
myself,
love.
y'all. Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's my bedtime to
Yeah, I know
change
we
2
gotta
and
get up.
3
I gotta get up too.
times. Shit, I don't. We on shutdown, so
What? You got lucky.
yeah, we on shutdown. I'm gonna chill.
That's nothing but love. But once again, like he say, now how we gonna get out of that and get us some gross national product? What we gonna sell? If this intellectual property, you gave out some solutions.
Well, you know, as far as going back to what you were saying concerning Dr. Lena Bell and whatnot with the 10,000 of us.
Yeah.
You know, he done been to Geneva to the UN and all of that shit the same way people be up under the Empress with and so on and so forth. You know, if that's something that you're interested in, then holler at the guy. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say about that. But like I said, we need numbers is vital. It's something that we really need. So I feel like we start with the seatbelt shit. You understand? We
I'm
keep
with
pointing at the helmet shit, how they got rid of that for their people.
Didn't they though?
With the quickness.
Well, for the
I say
Harleys, for the Harley
we
drive.
picked 10 states and we fucking start there with it. You know what I'm saying? Letting the people know we're not suggesting that you don't utilize the child seats or whatnot and safety belts for yourself and your children. That's not the point of the movement. The point of the movement is to stop the fucking robbery.
Right.
They
I think a lot of it
dollars
is,
of us just off of that one of the millions of goddamn, you know what I'm talking about? Codes and shit and policies that they have. So us stopping that one, the people on our side who have this knowledge, they gonna laugh like, oh, that ain't shit, but they not realizing we open up the people mind and being at that point we'll be able to show them more. Once we get them to understand that, you understand, I'm not getting out there with no fucking petition papers and shit. Y'all know that, you understand? But the people who consider themselves to be U.S. citizens and things of that nature, they let them do that work and we do the work that we do.
I do whatever. It's like we were just talking about EK once again. You seen brother EK? Man, this enough fight out here for us. So let's get up and get at it and agitate. Like Bobby said, you got to agitate.
Trying to get these dense bodies to move. You know
Ooh, can these bones live?
These rusted ass dense bodies.
Ooh, Lord, can they live?
That's why they love that green though. Trying to get back to that green bean.
That green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, we appreciate you, Brother King L Bay. You know, we'll be probably in your inbox again soon.
peace and love to the family. You know how we do.
Always.
We always drop this game. You know, I'm just trying to get the people to understand this is a critical thinking exercise. I try to tell people all the time, life is a thinking man's sport. We have to start using our minds to free ourselves. We have to really start thinking about everything instead of reacting to everything.
Yeah.
We have to sit down and start looking at things for what they are and find the truth in everything that we do. So that's what I'm trying to bring to the people and just drop a little sauce in their lap, give them some knowledge about some things, and get these and start. You know, I think we rely on them to give us remedy when we have a right to create our own remedy, and that's a part of a fundamental right. You have a right to create your own remedies, and that's what people don't understand. And it's all dealing in contract, and they're using these contracts and using these property laws, and they using paperwork. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. They're using all nothing but paper. And now they're going into a digital format because why? We in the age of Aquarius. So what are we using? Computers. We don't have to use paper no more. We can do all our documents and store them in the cloud. They're going to get rid of paper. It's called the Paper Reduction Act. They're getting rid of paper. Period. We're not looking at that. It's the Paper Reduction Act. So they about to get rid of all forms of paper. It's nothing
Yeah,
goes to paper no more.
that's but see, once again, and I'm glad you said that, because anything they do, and this is the true truth, brother. Anything they do is for a reason. They paper reducing because they trying to get rid of the receipts.
But this is the thing. You can store your receipts onto a flash drive, a hard drive, all of that. You can have an accounting. So a lot of people talking about accounting. I try to tell them the word accounting, you must look
I hear
at the
what you
word
saying.
accountability.
He privileged. He privileged to be able to have a flash drive. But once again, I don't know what neighborhood he live in. But if he step outside in the neighborhood I live in them 40 houses, they ain't got no computer. They got to go to the library. A lot of these little urban youth kids, folks I'm around where I eat and break bread, they don't have access. They don't even know what a flash drive is. Hell, I just learned what a flash drive was in the last 3 months.
Well, we got to get up on game. Because a
I'm
flash
saying,
drive, you can get you a flash drive for about $5 to $10.
got what I know. Got books worth thousands of dollars on it. I don't even know how to use the thing. I just found it. I'm gonna bring it to you. I told you I was gonna look for it. I found it. $25,000 books on the thing. Don't even know how to stick it in there and use the thing. Right. You know,
now ask
I
yourself,
got books. I got a bunch of books. I got a bunch of paper with books that's made out of paper. Now I can read and show you that shit. Now I can show you that. But once again, we talking about the book burning. Whose books was they burning? The Moors. So they reducing paper because of what? The Moors. Because of why? Because this almighty dollar got to do with the Moors. So we got to get rid of that footprint.
what I'm saying, we so caught up in this commercial system that we lost our own way because we stuck in that system.
Yeah, we got a few of us that's survivalists, if you would call them survivalists, and they're gonna become like the heroes whenever it come, what's going to come, because it's got to come. It's got to come. I mean, the prophet said a few things that's got to happen. We got to see soldiers with bayonets telling people where they can go to get food. We got to see people willing to walk away from $300 bills, like you just said, $300 bills laying on the floor. Because he said you won't bend over to pick up a $20 bill, and a $20 bill today is the equivalent of 3 blue faces. 3 blue faces. And I don't know one Negro right now in 2022 with all this stimulus money that everybody got in their pocket that won't bend over and pick up 3 blue face $100 bills right now.
And this is what's so funny, right? You mentioned the stimulus. Think about all that stimulus money they gave out, right?
Yes.
Think about if everybody who got a stimulus check, right, say we're gonna come together and put just $100. People got thousands of dollars.
My cousin just got 10,000, brother. You hear me? For the pay light bills and rent and all kind of shit, man. They giving this money away like crazy, man. She got $10,000 right now.
Right. And this is what's so crazy, right? They're giving out all this money, but what are we doing with it? What plan of this is why I'm teaching estate planning. If you're not planning your life, they sure enough gonna plan it for you. So we don't have no institution. We don't have no banking institutions. We don't have no institutions that protect us because we won't fund them. We want to participate in the white man's business. We need to get out of his business and get our own.
Well. Now we know that Mr. Charlie's ice is always colder and his sugar is always sweeter.
I know. We always think the white man ice is colder and his sugar is sweeter. You see what I'm saying? That's because that's what we were taught to believe. But it's just a belief. When we start really believing in ourselves, we'll stop all of this foolishness.
Well, you got to go get them out the church. You got to get them out the church because that's where the spell started. That's where the Vatican and
I
all.
know I got a mama who a strong Christian. You can't tell her nothing.
You can't tell your cousins all that knowledge you got, and you probably got one family member that'll listen to you. Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah. You lying.
Tell me I'm lying.
You ain't lying.
All right. But if you was talking about Jesus and covered in the blood and take the wheel, they would be right there with you.
Yeah. You can't tell my mama, boy. She be like, Jesus. I said, Mama, didn't you have surgery? I said, did Jesus come down and do the surgery? Now he had me, he was with me the whole time. I be like, okay.
That's right. In essence, the ancestors, she meaning the ancestors. See, that's where they got us at. They knew we were spiritual people. That's the one thing they did know. And when they came in with the religion thing and like, I mean, the whole how that whole thing went down, the trauma from all that, that Jesus thing. But all I was saying is like I say, you got family members, so it's hard to reach these program Negroes. Like I say, it's hard to reach them because so many different programs. They run in so many different programs on their psyche all day long, man. All day long, they spoon fed Babylon, and I mean, they spoon fed Sodom and Gomorrah. So, like I say, in walking away from Sodom and Gomorrah, you got mamas and aunties that's gonna turn back and look for that. They're gonna look back forward. They're gonna, because it's stimulating. It feels good. You understand?
But we got to get out of how we feel and do what we know. This is where the ancient teachings come back into play.
And we ready. The few, many are called, and few, what does it say? Many are called, but only a few are chosen. So we the few. So we ready, man. And I'm ready. I'm quite sure the listeners and the subscribers, they claim they ready. I'm ready, man. Sister giving solutions, you giving solutions. Let's put them in a pot and let's get our magic. Let's reclaim our magic. Yeah.
Indeed. We about to get up out of here though, King L-Bay.
Okay.
Roll down the road back, but we relatives will be getting it up again real soon.
Yeah.
Okay, family. Peace and love.
Peace and love. And with that, we say peace.
Supreme.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoking fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all see your eyes. We call the third eye, we came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus, but you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, rappers, cause we don't be lying, shaking hands and taking